Drake's name popped up as a suspect in the murder case of XXX Tentacion. Here's the tea. Drake was called to testify in court about what he knew or didn't know about X's death. The whole world was buzzing, but then crickets. No court date, no testimony, and Drake just kept on living his best life. The case seemed wrapped up. But hold up, let's rewind. Nearly 5 years ago, X was tragically murdered outside a motorcycle shop in Florida. Since then, his family and team have been working hard to keep his legacy alive with album releases, a documentary, and even his first child after his passing. Meanwhile, the trial for the 3 suspects, Trayvon Newsom, Dedrick Williams, and Michael Boatwright, finally started. And on the first day of the trial, guess what? Drake's name popped up as a possible suspect. Can you believe it? All right, let's break it down. So this might shock some of y'all, but X and Drake had serious beef. During the trial, Williams' defense attorney brought up an old IG story from X, now deleted, where he said, "If anybody kills me, it's Drake."
He came on social media and said, guys, before he dies, if anybody kills me, it's Drake. Do you think in that time span that they went and they addressed him, they talked to him? No. Do you think sitting here today, years later, any detective has ever asked, Drake or anybody like that? No, they never did that. So you ask yourself, how could that be?
Can you imagine? The defense attorney argued that prosecutors never even investigated Drake. They questioned why no one took Drake's name seriously when X put him on blast. Girl, this whole thing is wild. X wasn't mad at Drake for no reason. Drake has a rep for jacking people's flows, especially up-and-coming artists. X called him out, so you can see why he wasn't about to let Drake ride off his success. Drake keeps floating around, getting away with stuff. It's low-key shady. X was building his empire, and here comes Drake trying to eat off his hustle. If I were X, I'd be mad too.
Keeping a blood raw, I still think Drake I think he's not a man. I think he's a bitch. That's a bitch move.
I can't respect a nigga that got plastic. Bro, Drake look like he got Drake when he got plastic surgery, bitch.
If I was outside of jail and bro took my shit and previewed my shit in Amsterdam like he did, I would have, bro. What? I probably actually would have found a way to find, bro.
Fast forward to today, and Dedrick Williams' defense attorney is still pushing the narrative that Drake should have been a suspect. So, according to the defense, X's statement on social media about Drake should have raised red flags. Did the police go after Drake? No. Did they even bother to question him? Nope. They did it. Can you believe that? It's crazy how someone can throw around such a serious accusation and the police don't even look into it. Now, after X's death, some fans couldn't help but notice how suspicious things got. Remember that video from Drake and Travis Scott's song Sicko Mode? In it, there's a scene where it looks like a big comet falls from the sky and crushes someone who looks an awful lot like X. Fans went crazy, thinking this was Drake throwing shade at X. Like, why would you put something like that in a music video right after X dies? And don't forget about the drama that went down just last year with Drake's song Her Loss. Fans went into a frenzy after they noticed a line in the song that seemed to reference X's death. If you break it down, the numbers Drake mentions add up to XXX, which is X's initials in Roman numerals. And the line, "If he held his tongue on that live, he'd be alive again," seemed to be a dig at X's infamous beef with Drake before his death. Drake can be so subtle with his shots. It's almost like he's daring people to call him out. Now, After all the conspiracy theories and online chatter, it's come to light that the defense attorney for one of X's alleged killers is still bringing up Drake's name.
One of the men convicted in the 2018 murder of rapper XXX Tentacion is now appealing his conviction, and his legal team is focusing a lot of their attention on a major celebrity, Drake. We are going to explain the connections and the arguments as we sit down with Mauricio Padilla, the attorney for the convicted killer, Dedrick Devon Williams. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
In December of 2020, I filed a witness list. The state's reaction to that was to file a motion saying, we want the court to strike all of his witnesses, that's not even something that's legal or that you could do. You have to itemize who you want stricken. You just can't shotgun approach and say, I want all of his defense witnesses stricken. But the state attorney did that. So imagine the decedent said prior to his death, if anybody kills me, it's Champagne Papi, which is Drake's Instagram name. I laid out in extreme detail all of my defense witnesses list, which included many rappers, because at the end of the day, the victim in this case was a rapper. He had feuds, ongoing public feuds with not only Drake, but a lot of rappers that are either signed to OVO or related to Drake in some way, including 600 Breezy, which is a Chicago-based rapper, and a rapper that's from Toronto by the name of, he goes by Top 5, which is Hassan Ali. And I had to lay that all out in detail. The court was fully aware of my theory of defense. Prior to that, I filed a motion to perpetuate the testimony of Livingston Allen, which goes by the name of DJ Academics, because DJ Academics was friends with X and had posted long YouTube, content regarding this beef. He actually posted YouTube saying that he was on the phone with X discussing the issue and the beef that he had with Drake, and specifically X had either said or posted something about Drake's mom, and he had posted a picture of a Drake lookalike with semen on his face, and he wanted DJ Academics to post it on his own site, and he said, I'm not going to do that. And in that conversation, DJ Academic says that you better be careful, because even though, and I'm paraphrasing again, even though he's not a gangster, you may be pushing him. As a reaction to that conversation, X goes and says that he takes it out off the post off of his website or off of IG, and he says that his Instagram was hacked. I laid that out in my motion to perpetuate the testimony, which a motion to perpetuate testimony is when you have a witness that is relevant to your defense and that lives beyond the jurisdictional limits of the court, and that you feel that you're not going to be able to bring them into court. So I'm basically asking the court to allow me to go to California or wherever I have to go, depose this individual, and now with his deposition, if he doesn't show up, I could use it in my defense or in my case in chief, right? So I did that, argued it to the court, and the court, in a reaction, basically said, I'm not going to grant your motion to perpetuate testimony. Just take his deposition.
Dedrick Williams, one of the men convicted of the murder, is still trying to raise reasonable doubt. And part of his defense involves mentioning Drake. So now we're back to square one, with all these old accusations resurfacing. Will anything ever come of this? Will Drake ever be held accountable? Only time will tell. I want to bet Drake starting beef with UMG is gonna lead to a bunch of exposed secrets. I'm not saying Drake did anything, but the way all this keeps coming up just makes you think, right? It feels like the pieces aren't adding up, and fans aren't just going to let it slide. If X's family is still bringing it up, you gotta know they're not doing it for no reason. There's something in the air that just doesn't smell right. Whether it's the music video, the shady bars, or just Drake's history of taking others' flows, there's a pattern, and people are noticing. As much as the public might want to ignore it, I think this case has a lot more twists and turns coming. You don't just throw someone's name around in a murder case unless there's something to it. This case is far from over. Drake's involvement, or lack thereof, is something people are still questioning. And it seems like the truth is somewhere in the middle of all these rumors and accusations. Whether he's guilty or just caught up in a big mess, we're going to be following this story until the very end. 3 people we should never doubt again: God, Jesus, and Cat Williams. I mean, in my opinion, Drake should have stayed quiet. Just accept your losses and move on. Kendrick's song was the biggest. That song had me singing it everywhere. In the supermarket, in my car, everywhere. Oh my God. So we had Diddy's takedown this year. I wonder if it's gonna be a Drake takedown next. I mean, 2024 has been the juiciest year. I mean, a lot is coming out of the closet. A lot of skeletons. I mean, Drake been waiting to be a mob boss his whole career. Well, I hope he gets the full experience. Drake's own lyrics made him look shady. But Jaguar Wright mentioned how shocked people will be when they find out Drake's involvement with XXX's case. I mean, you know guys, when I look at the name Champagne Papi, that sounds like a nickname Diddy would give you. You know, it's just so that diddler, huh? Alright guys, remember to like and subscribe to VibeWire and drop your comment below. Tell me what you think about the whole situation, cause it's crazy. And to me, after the whole Drake tries to, sue UMG, all of this is exposing now? Don't you think that's a little bit suspicious? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Alright?